Gender equality to me is about equality of opportunity. It's making sure that every woman can fulfill her potential.
To get gender equality, we need gender equity. The difference is that equality is giving everybody the same, whereas equity is recognising that we're all in different situations.
It's not about counting how many men or women are in a room to see that there's equal numbers. It's about making sure that you get your chance and that nothing stands in your way.
Well, this isn't about bringing other people down to raise other people up. This is not what this is. Equality means everyone does better out of everyone thriving. Sometimes there is a perception that in order to get equality, it means other people have to be less than who they are. And that is absolutely not what it is. This is not a competition between people. This is about raising everyone up at the same time.
Breaking down societal, harmful stereotypes. It's really about breaking down those barriers, and everyone should be able to feel safe, valued and respected.
I am quite proud to be from a sport like my career in track and field. Doesn't really have gender inequality, and I think that's something that the whole world could have a look at. No matter what you look like, where you're from, everything's on a performance and what you do.
We think about fashion being an industry that's essentially like a women's industry, but yet when you look at all the heads of these creative houses, of these brands, often they're men who are the creative directors.
We need to destigmatise men taking time off work to share in caring responsibilities, including parental responsibilities.
So measures like a right to flexible working in the workplace would be gender equity now to help women progress in their careers. It would also make it easier for men to take on more caring responsibilities, and that's how we get to gender equality.
We also need to encourage women to take on leadership roles and make sure that we support them so that they stay there. That way we can raise up a new generation of change leaders.
Put things in place to address those inequalities. So things like the gender pay gap reporting was a really important first step, but we now need every company, every organisation to take that seriously.
Having an MOT to see where we are at the moment as an industry. And I think it's just to check and see what things we've got in place to be able to serve everybody equally, give everybody the same opportunity.
So I think it should start in schools. That's a pivotal time where we are learning about who we are as people and as individuals. Especially as women, we have so much pressure. Now we've got social media around us, there's so much to go through.
Social media has exacerbated the differences. Our gender, our race, our age, everything. I want to live in a world where we don't even see it, where we're actually valued for our character and our imagination and our shared values.
I sometimes struggle with the fact that we're still having these conversations, and I hope that the next generation, that these conversations are just not as essential and urgent as I think they need to be right now.
There's always the joke that, when's International Men's Day? But the reality is that it is International Men's Day most of the days of the year. So I think it's really important to just pause for a minute, have International Women's Day as a chance to reflect on what more needs to be done for equality.
I grew up in Nigeria. That was a place where women didn't have the same sort of equality that they have in this country.
We'd love to think that in the UK we don't have a problem with this, but we know we do. But actually internationally this is massively important.
Women's equality is going backwards in many countries. Look at what's happening in Afghanistan, for example. Look at what's happening to the women in Gaza.
We know that one of the greatest barriers to success in societies is that women still carry the burden of childcare. They still aren't in the labour market in the way they'd like to be. They aren't thriving in the way they want.
I have definitely been discriminated against. I have not been able to continue to go through a job application because I was pregnant, so I was asked not to come back.
Like most women, I've experienced discrimination, harassment, sexual assault. Most women have that story to tell, unfortunately.
I have suffered violence and abuse. Women in the public eye and women in frontline politics face a constant barrage of gender discrimination every single day.
I remember once nearly being thrown out of a taxi because I'd said something like women should be paid the same as men.
I've talked about being sexually assaulted at school, I've talked about sexual harassment in the workplace, I've talked about finding that I was paid less than a male colleague who was actually in a junior role to me.
Colleagues in the House of Commons saying you're too emotional. When you're talking about murder, yep, you're not wrong, I'm emotional.
All of these things happen and you build up this experience and you get bolder about calling it out really, and you don't take any crap, frankly.
There's so many things I wish I could have told my younger self.
I wish I could tell my younger self to be more confident in who I was.
Be more confident.
Slow down, enjoy the moment, and don't overthink things.
Do not let them tell you it can't be done.
Practice making your voice heard.
Stand up for yourself.
Don't let men convince you that you have some sort of power. The men who are telling you that you're powerful as a young woman are usually using it to take your power away. The idea that women have sexual power is the greatest myth ever told in order to control them.